What if I told you that one of America's most trusted neighbors, a successful contractor, a community volunteer, and even a man who once dressed as a clown to entertain children, was hiding a dark secret beneath his home? A secret that would shock the world and forever change how we think about the people we trust. In today's episode, we're diving into the chilling case of John Wayne Gacy, the man who became known as the Killer Clown. By the end of this video, you'll not only understand how he was able to live a double life for so long, but you'll also see how his crimes finally came to light, and why his story remains one of the most disturbing in true crime history. This isn't just a story about murder. It's about deception, power, and the horrifying reality that evil can hide in plain sight. We'll trace Gacy's journey from his troubled childhood, through his seemingly respectable adult life, to the moment investigators uncovered the nightmare beneath his suburban home. Stick with us because the shocking discovery at the end is something you'll never forget. John Wayne Gacy was born in 1942 in Chicago, Illinois. From the outside, he appeared to be just another Midwestern boy. But behind closed doors, his childhood was marked by instability and abuse. His father, an alcoholic World War I veteran, was both physically and emotionally abusive. Gacy spent much of his youth trying and failing to win his father's approval. At the same time, he suffered from health problems, including a congenital heart condition that made him faint regularly. These medical struggles kept him away from sports and often left him feeling weak and isolated. Psychologists often point to this mix of abuse and insecurity as a breeding ground for the kind of darkness that would later consume him. But as a child, no one could have predicted just how far he would go. As Gacy grew older, he appeared to build a respectable life. He moved into business, became a successful contractor, and was known for his involvement in local politics and community events. He even earned the nickname Pogo the Clown, performing at children's parties in full clown costume. But beneath the painted smile, Gacy harbored violent urges. His first major brush with the law came in 1968, when he was convicted of sexually assaulting a teenage boy. He was sentenced to 10 years in prison but served only 18 months before being released on parole. And here's where the story becomes even more unsettling. Despite his criminal record, Gacy was able to rebuild his image. He bought a house in a quiet Chicago suburb, grew his business, and continued to cultivate the persona of a friendly, reliable neighbor. No one suspected the horrors happening behind closed doors. By the mid-1970s, Gacy's double life had escalated. He began luring young men and teenage boys to his home with the promise of construction work, quick money, or just a friendly place to hang out. But once inside, many never left. Gacy used tricks, restraints, and sometimes even his clown persona to gain control. He would assault his victims, strangle them, and dispose of their bodies in the most horrifying way imaginable, burying them beneath his own home. The very place where he hosted barbecues, entertained neighbors, and laughed with friends was sitting on top of a mass grave. For years, Gacy managed to keep his crimes hidden. Families of missing boys searched desperately for answers, but Gacy always seemed just beyond suspicion. It wasn't until December 1978, when a 15-year-old boy named Robert Piest went missing, that everything began to unravel. Police quickly learned that Piest was last seen leaving work to speak with Gacy about a potential job. When investigators brought Gacy in for questioning, his calm and confident demeanor almost fooled them. But the evidence began to pile up. Surveillance teams noted Gacy's odd behavior. Search warrants revealed disturbing items in his home: handcuffs, clothing belonging to missing boys, and eventually, the unmistakable smell of decay seeping up from beneath the floorboards. When investigators finally searched under Gacy's home, they uncovered one of the most horrifying crime scenes in American history. Body after body was pulled from the crawl space, eventually totaling 29 victims buried on his property. The final victim count tied to Gacy rose to 33 young men and boys, making him one of the most prolific serial killers in U.S. history. The sheer scale of the discovery stunned even the most seasoned detectives. This wasn't just murder. It was systematic, calculated, and carried out under the guise of normal suburban life. Gacy was arrested in December 1978. During questioning, he gave a chilling confession, admitting to dozens of murders but attempting to paint himself as mentally unstable. His trial, which began in 1980, captivated the nation. The defense argued insanity, but the jury didn't buy it. Gacy was convicted of 33 counts of murder and sentenced to death. In 1994, after 14 years on death row, he was executed by lethal injection. His final meal? Fried chicken, a nod to his earlier years managing KFC restaurants. The case of John Wayne Gacy serves as a grim reminder that appearances can be deceiving. He wasn't a shadowy figure lurking in the dark. He was a neighbor, a volunteer, even a clown who brought joy to children. Yet beneath the surface he was orchestrating one of the most horrifying crime sprees in history. So what can we learn from this case? That evil doesn't always look like evil. Sometimes, it hides behind a smile, a handshake, or even a painted clown face. If you found this story as shocking as we did, let us know your thoughts in the comments. Do you think Gacy's ability to blend into society made him more dangerous than other serial killers? And which case should we cover next on the True Crime Report? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you never miss a new episode.